I will never speak to my mom or sister again once I turn 18. I, 17F, will never speak to my mom or sister again on my next birthday. Growing up, my parents were great. That was until my mom threw it all away and decided to cheat on my dad. My dad divorced and the affair baby, my sister, 10F, was soon born. I was 7 at the time. In the court, my mom somehow managed to get full custody. I think she played dirty and brought up past issues my dad used to have. He had a substance abuse problem before I was born. My dad doesn't really say anything bad about my mom, however. He says that there is nothing he can do and we just have to work with it for now and wait till I'm 18. I see my dad once a week on the weekend and I get to spend 1 week a year with him every summer. But I am stuck with my mom the majority of the time. My sister is profoundly disabled, to the point where she requires assistance for everything. She is useless. Since she was born, all my time outside of school has been dedicated to her. I stopped learning the piano, going to friends' house, playing basketball because I had to help her. I have been wearing the same clothes at home for the past 3 years since my sister has priority over everything. Dinner, only once she eats. I don't know why I call her my sister. Her, should be half-sister, but she is not even worth that. My dad used to pay a lot more child support than required for the first 2 years after the divorce, but 90% of the money went to my sister, so he stopped and started paying the minimum. Still only 10% goes to me. I don't blame him for this. Why should he support an affair baby? He tried to take my mom to court about not using the child support correctly, but it was unsuccessful. Only in the past 3 months have I managed to get a bit of time to myself without having to take care of the affair child when I'm not at school. I told my mom I had to spend a couple of extra hours after school 3 days a week. She initially refused, but she accepted only because I told her I needed it to prepare to get into a good college so I could get a good job to take care of my sister. I lied. Instead, I go to my best friend's house. Her parents are super understanding. My mom doesn't even care enough to even check if I'm at school. I also go to my dad's best friend's house every day, sometimes just for 5 minutes. Because I don't have sufficient equipment at home, and if I take it home from my dad, my mom will sell it for some new thing for my sister. My dad leaves all my stuff at his friend's house, which is 10 minutes away from where I live. Every day before and after school I go there to change and get stuff, and his family have also helped me with my college preparation. I have found a college near my dad's house which he will pay for and will let me live there. My mom knows nothing about this. She thinks I'm going to a college close to home and will continue to look after my sister with her. She is oblivious, but then again, even if I made it obvious at home she wouldn't notice. I will be free in 2 weeks and I will live at my dad's friend's house until school finishes, and then I will move to my dad's since it is far from school. I will never speak to my mom or sister again after that. I can't wait to spend more time with my dad and his family. I have a stepbrother who is the same age who is amazing, and we will go to college together. He actually makes me feel happy and I like spending time with him. My dad's friend has bought a small electric piano so I can play it once I go there, and we have found a basketball club for me to join. It will be great. I won't be burdened by my sister again. You can call me a monster since she didn't ask for this life, but I don't care. I didn't ask to have to take care of her. My life has value too. Just because she suffers doesn't mean I have to, so that the playing field is leveled. My dad is amazing. He also won't have to be financially responsible for a child that isn't his once he stops paying child support for supposedly me. My mom and sister will probably struggle enormously, they might even go homeless. I don't care. I will not know them in a fortnight, but it's not like they know me or really care about me. I'm just a slave to them. I hate my sister, not for what she is, which is nothing, but for ruining my childhood. I hate my mom more. I hope she becomes homeless and a more worthy family can live in the home. Not this abuser. I will be free in 14 days. I am currently at my dad's friend's house right now. He and his wife are more like parents to me than my mom is. They actually ask about my dad and care about my feelings. I am lucky to have such great people on my dad's side. There is no one on my mom's side. She had no siblings, was outcast from the rest of her family when she cheated and didn't abort the baby. None of them wanted to have to deal with my sister. If they didn't do that, I might have had a childhood. But at least now my mom will have to deal with the consequences of her adultery herself and can't enslave anyone else. I don't blame my mom's family for abandoning her. They're quite clever for recognizing early on that my mom would just rely on them all the time. My dad isn't just the fun dad who get to look great. He actually cares about me. When I'm sick at school and I needed to get picked up, he would drive an hour to do it or get his friend to do it. My mom couldn't do it since she was busy or needed a rest after looking after my sister. My happiest moments in the last 7 years have all been away from my mom and sister, and I will be able to have that all the time soon. My dad has organized therapy sessions for me to help me settle. He's also organized a trip for 2 weeks during one of the holidays, which will just be between me and him since we've missed out on a lot because of my mom. I hope she suffers. Relevant comments. Oop, referring to her sister, she's responsible for taking away my childhood. I have never got to have a hobby, or do anything fun since Sue was born. My day simply consisted of waking up, helping my sister, going to school, coming straight back and helping her again. Before my dad's friends started helping me, I lost some weight because I could only eat after she was satisfied. My mom has not stepped up for me, for my sister yes, but not for me. She doesn't even bother talking to me or asking how my day went. My dad doesn't care about how I talk about my sister. He knows that she is the affair baby who still impacts him, as almost all the child support he pays for me basically goes to her. He tells me not to talk about her badly, which I don't do except here. But I hate her for what she's caused. I don't hate her for the person she is, but I don't care about her. She's ruined my life and I will soon be free from her. Reading at first, my gosh, awful kid. But as I kept reading, my thought was, you didn't have your sister, it shouldn't be up to you to provide her care. Start collecting things now, if you haven't started. While some things are easy to replace, it's a huge pain in the butt, and time consuming. Leave them in a trusted place, or even better send them to your dad's via mail, then you can honestly say, you have no idea where they are, technically, you won't know where you put them. Start counseling. You seem to have a good strong head on your shoulders, but even the strongest branches need support at times. As for your sister, she didn't ask to be born. Where is her bio dad? Is he paying child support for her? She isn't going to understand why you aren't around, and I do feel bad for her about that. But I also understand you have had so much responsibility piled on top of you, that you want to walk away cleanly. Who knows, maybe one day, you will want to see her, maybe not, but don't slam that door completely, shut it, walk away, but know it can be opened again, on your terms. I wish you luck and much happiness in your new life. You've earned and deserve all the happiness. OP replied, I don't know much about the bio dad, I don't think he is paying anything, it doesn't seem like it. From what I know, he basically vanished after the affair. I have no major advice or anything OP, but listen to the people in the comments about important documents and heirlooms. I know you are full of anger, but be smart and strategic here too so you won't be able to be caught up again. I truly wish you good luck on everything and hope you pursue your goals and passions. See this new chapter of your life as a rebirth. OP replied, thanks for the advice and the people telling me about preparation. I have already transferred important things, my mom does not care enough to notice anything wrong. Still odd. Like after a certain age you're allowed to choose which parent you want to live with. OP replied, my dad tried to, but they came up with some bullshit about not disrupting the family unit and the fact that I was settled in my school and my dad lived an hour ago. I was never outright given the choice to live there. Maybe if I ran away it might have worked out differently. Did your mom shut it down or the court? OP replied, both. It was the only time my mom even pretended to give a shit about me. In response to a removed comment, OP replied, I won't experience the life my mom has because I will love all my children, not just one. And I'm sorry to say but my dad does want me. I don't care about the affair itself but she is an affair baby, that's the truth. I care about the affair because it means I've had to take care of the product of it. It's not so simple. If I continued to live my life, I for one would have been punished by my mom and also would be responsible for anything that happens to my sister since I was told to look after her, and even though I hate her I'm not going to be responsible for something bad happening. I couldn't just leave. My dad tried to get me to move but the courts just ruled in my mom's favor. I never expected her to abort a baby and never mentioned that. I know the child support is a considerable amount and this is because she has full custody of me, yet most of it goes to taking care of my sister. I have not had new clothes, new school equipment for 3 years at my mom's and the child support is supposed to cover that. Luckily my dad has sucked it up and paid extra for me to have necessary equipment stored at his friend's house. He also won't have to support a stranger from now on. Even if I don't deserve anyone, I will have lots of people. My proper family are 1,000 times the people my mom is. You will if you have a disabled child. Or a child who behaves like you. OP replied, I'll still make sure to show them love, and I won't make on be a babysitter so they won't behave like me. This situation is entirely my mom's creation so I don't feel sorry for her one bit. She chose this and to push her difficult life which she created onto others. Update. Hi everyone, people asked for an update once I turned 18 so here it is, albeit a few days late. I'd like to start off by thanking everyone who gave support and advice on collecting documents, it means a lot. To others who messaged asking for explicit pictures when I turned 18 and those who said that they hoped my dad would abandon me, I'm sorry but neither of those will be happening. At midnight, I left my mom's house and went to my dad's friend. I just left a note in the kitchen for my mom. I won't be seeing her or her daughter again. I went to my dad's friend's house and my dad decided to surprise me and come with my stepmom, stepbrother and half-sister. They were waiting for me and we had a small celebration with some cake. My dad excused me from school which they understood and did the same for my siblings and we went to his house for the second half of the week. I'm just going back now for tomorrow. The last few days have been great. We went to a theme park and did loads of stuff in the area. I had my first therapy session yesterday which was okay but it was a bit difficult to open up. I also had a piano lesson yesterday. My half-sister who is only 5 can already play some scales so she sits beside me and we play together when I practice. Her smile is so cute when everyone is clapping. My dad is going to come to his friend's house tomorrow and spend a few days there with me. I blocked my mom when I left so I haven't been bothered by her but she has been blowing up my dad and stepmom's phone demanding money to take care of her daughter which obviously they won't give. She will actually have to step up to take care of her daughter without pawning all the responsibility onto others. She threatened to sue my dad for parental alienation and find a way to get money and then sent voice notes of her daughter so my dad just blocked her. If she contacts him again with a different number he will go speak to his lawyer. I also want to mention how supportive my stepmom has been. I haven't really mentioned her enough since I've just been so excited to be with my dad again, but she has been equally as helpful. Unfortunately I can't be adopted since my mom is still alive. Even though it doesn't mean much since I'm legally an adult now, it would really mean a lot to her. I need to think of something to show my appreciation for her as well. I've been a bit too invested with my dad the past few days. Finally, just another thank you to everyone. I have felt happy the past week. Relevant comments. I'm going to make a suggestion that you should call CPS for your disabled half-sister. Explain that the primary caregiver has left and that she may not be being taken care of and probably requires monitoring for a while. While obviously you have no requirement to do so, please remember that your shitty situation was due to your awful mother, not the 10-year-old half-sister, and she doesn't deserve to starve or be neglected. OP replied, my mom won't neglect her. She loves her too much. Now that she can't leech of my dad, she will make a big fuss all over social media. She already has started. She spun some sob story about how my dad alienated her from me and is getting tons of support. My dad is taking her to court now. But if it all goes bad, she won't hesitate to call CPS herself. She's done it before to get me to come back from holiday with my dad. That's fair enough. I made the suggestion because a couple of things you mentioned made it seem like she is dependent on her financial benefits and wasn't all that interested in physical care. Usually CPS can monitor but don't tend to separate parent and child unless there is a significant concern for the child's welfare. OP replied, I think she'll manage. She just won't be able to indulge in luxuries like before. For example, for dinner she would buy loads of different meals every day. My sister would have a bit of it, drool over it and then not like it, so she then eats a different thing. She would get like 6 plates of different food for her and tell me to eat the leftovers, which had spit all over them. She'll have to actually try and manage things properly now. OP replied, then posted on r/am_I_the_asshole about her mom, though the post was removed but archived in the comments. Final update. I am refusing to send money to my mom or her daughter. Background, my parents divorced when I was 10. My mom cheated on my dad and my half-sister was born with severe disabilities. My mom used my dad's past, long before I was born, to get custody of me. Life was hell for the next 7 years for me. I basically gave up everything for my half-sister. I never could spend time with friends because I had to look after my sister. Everything my dad bought me was sold by mom so she could buy stuff for my sister. I was denied food at home. My sister would drool all over her food and refuse to eat it then, so I had to give her my portion and eat her saliva-ridden food, which I refused to do. As a result of these things as well as many other, I moved out as soon as I was 18 3 months ago and haven't spoken to them since. My mom is really struggling now, especially with the extortionate child support my dad to pay, although it wasn't ever used for me. She recently tried to take my dad to court for parental alienation and my dad countersued and won with all the evidence of her misuse of child support and her attempts to actually carry out parental alienation, so she had to pay my dad a significant sum. Therefore she is struggling even more now. She's gone on Facebook showing pictures of my starving sister, and my dad and I are getting barrages of messages from random people saying we should support them and we were once a family. I've told them all to F off, but I spoke to my friends and they said I should just tell my dad to give her some money as it's cruel to my half-sister. But I don't think it's fair to my dad to have to give his ex-wife money for the person who broke his marriage, and my mom has only herself to blame, especially after she wasted her own money on a frivolous lawsuit which backfired. My dad was prepared to let it go until my mom did that. The story is marked as concluded as OP, no longer living with her mom and is able to get independence.